The Galactic Military Academy's training hall fell silent. Instructor Zekthor, a towering Vraxian with chitinous armor and 4 eyes that could track movement in multiple directions, stood before the assembled cadets. His species had been apex predators on their homeworld for millions of years, and his presence commanded respect across the known galaxy. Today, Zekthor announced, his translator rendering his clicks and hisses into common galactic, we discuss tactical response to predator-class threats. These creatures exist on every colonized world, every station, every vessel that ventures into the dark. You must know how to survive. The classroom contained representatives from 43 species. Evelyn Harper sat in the back row, her posture relaxed in a way that made the nearby cadets uncomfortable. She was human, one of only 2 in this cohort. Humans had joined the galactic community merely 30 cycles ago, and most species still didn't know what to make of them. David Chen sat 3 rows ahead, equally still, his dark eyes fixed on the instructor with an intensity that his Felzorian neighbor found unsettling. The scenario, Zekthor continued, pulling up a holographic display, is as follows. You are conducting a survey mission on an uncharted world. Your teammate is attacked by an indigenous predator, quadrupedal, approximately 400 standard weight units, ambush hunting tactics, reinforced bone structure, and neurotoxic venom delivery system. The hologram showed a creature that resembled a terrestrial panther merged with something prehistoric and wrong. Several cadets shifted nervously. Your weapons are limited. Your team is 3 days from extraction. The predator has your teammate in its jaws. Zekthor's 4 eyes swept the room. List 3 ways to disable this predator. You have 30 seconds. Hands, tentacles, and appendages of various descriptions rose immediately. Zekthor pointed to a Kelvorian cadet, whose crystalline structure refracted the classroom lights. Sonic disruption to disorient, followed by retreat and defensive position. Acceptable. Next, a Threxian cadet. All feathers and talons spoke without being called upon. Chemical irritants to the sensory organs. Create distance. Establish elevated position. Adequate, Zekthor nodded. 1 more. This was when David raised his hand. The gesture was human-specific enough that Zekthor had to process it for a moment before acknowledging him. Cadet Chen. David stood, as was protocol. Before I answer, Instructor, I need clarification. Zekthor's mandibles clicked with interest. Clarification? Yes, sir. Do you want 3 ways to disable the predator temporarily, or 3 ways to disable it forever? The classroom became very, very quiet. Zekthor's translator must have malfunctioned because he repeated the question in his native language to his personal data pad. The pad confirmed the translation was correct. His 4 eyes focused entirely on the human male. Explain the distinction, Cadet Chen. David's expression didn't change. Temporary disabling means the predator survives and remains a threat to other survey teams, local populations, or the ecosystem. Forever means eliminating the threat permanently. The methods differ significantly based on the objective. Before Zekthor could respond, Evelyn's voice carried from the back row. She hadn't raised her hand. If I may, Instructor, I can list 3 for each category. Every head, sensor stalk, and optical organ turned toward her. Evelyn remained seated, 1 hand raised casually. Zekthor felt something his species rarely experienced. Uncertainty. Proceed, Cadet Harper. Evelyn stood slowly. Temporary disabling. 1. Target the eyes. Most predators rely on vision for final attack coordination. 2. Damage the locomotion system. Break or hyperextend the fore or hind limbs to limit pursuit capability. 3. Create sensory overload using fire. If available. Most predators haven't evolved alongside it and will retreat instinctively. She paused, her blue eyes meeting Zekthor's 4 without flinching. Forever. 1. Crush the trachea. Cut off oxygen to the brain. Death in 2 to 4 minutes, depending on species physiology. 2. Sever the spinal column at the base of the skull. Immediate neural shutdown. Motor function cease. 3. Catastrophic damage to major organs. If the ribcage can be breached, heart or lung destruction is efficient. The silence that followed was suffocating. A Pelvorian cadet, whose species were herbivorous and had never known war, made a sound that the translator rendered as distressed keening. Zekthor's mandibles worked soundlessly. In his 3 decades of instruction, no cadet had ever provided such clinical, detailed methods of killing. Cadet Harper, you speak of killing a predator with your bare hands. If necessary, sir. The scenario specified limited weapons. Your species, Zekthor struggled to form the thought. Your species can do this? David spoke again, still standing. Sir, humans evolved as persistence hunters on a death world. We're not the fastest, strongest, or best armed naturally, but we're efficient problem solvers when threatened, Evelyn added. We also have a disproportionate stress response. Adrenaline increases strength, pain tolerance, and reaction time significantly. In true survival scenarios, humans can perform considerably above their baseline capabilities. Zekthor accessed his data pad frantically. Earth Death World classification 11 out of 12. Gravity 1.2 standard. Atmospheric oxygen 21%, remarkably high. Predator density extreme. Human evolutionary path omnivorous pursuit predator. Zekthor looked between the two humans. You are predators. David and Evelyn exchanged glances. We prefer persistence hunters, sir, David said carefully. Evelyn smiled, and several cadets recoiled at the display of teeth. But if another predator threatens our pack? Yes, Instructor. We become what we need to be. Zekthor would later file a report with the Academy's Xenopsychology Department. The report would be flagged, reviewed, and eventually contributed to a growing file on human behavior that made the galactic community very nervous and very grateful that humans seemed to prefer diplomacy. But in that moment, standing before 43 species who had never truly known what it meant to be both hunter and hunted, Zekthor made a decision that would echo through his career. Cadets, he announced, revision to the lesson plan. For the remainder of this term, Cadets Harper and Chen will be co-instructing our survival tactics module. He looked directly at the two humans. Teach us. And they did.